Finally, my training was completed. Madame Martins entered with her mind at peace, and I took her place, becoming a real nurse. Congratulations, Yoko. Your first official working day is over. You're doing a great job. Thank you, doctor. Do you need help cleaning the floor in the ward? No, I'm fine, thanks. Don't even think about it. Doctor treat patients, not wash their floors. I can manage. He smiled, and that smile made my heart flutter. You're just so fragile. Step closer, Dr. Cousins took my hand in his. What are you doing? Want to protect you. He bent down and I felt his breath on my neck. Dr. Cousins, you can call me Christian. You don't, you. Lifting my hand, he gently kissed it and then looked into my eyes. You're so beautiful, I swallowed. I felt as if my heart was going to burst out of my chest. I wanted it. I wanted it with my everything, with all my soul. And he had no idea how many times I had dreamed of feeling the touch of his lips on mine. But you're married, Christian. The gentle expression on his face was immediately replaced by bitter disappointment. He let me go and went back to his desk. I stood looking at his back and didn't know what to do next, what to say. He turned to me again abruptly, his expression desperate. I can't do this anymore, Yoko, I can't. See, I fell in love with you. Those words, which sounded so gentle, so reverent, as if he was sharing with me the secret of the universe, filled the whole space. Unable to think straight anymore, I threw myself into his arms. Me too. We became close, and for a while I was absolutely and irrevocably happy. I didn't need anything from him. Even if he was married, even if all we had were short meeting in his office, it was enough to me that he loved me. Unfortunately, our happiness didn't last long. Once while I was with Christian Terika, and the second nurse suddenly entered his office. She understood everything immediately, of course. It was foolish to expect that our affair would not be revealed sooner or later, but what I wasn't ready for was how Terika reacted. Christian? How could you? How could you? You promised we'd be together, you promised. What is she talking about? The question was theatrical. I'm not stupid, I figured it out myself. You'll regret it, both of you. With those words, she left the office. A little later, I left too, unable to think of anything to say. The next day, the whole high ward was talking about how I had seduced Dr. Cousins, how I tried to destroy his family. Terika spread the rumors. I still don't know why she decided to make me the scapegoat and not Christian. She probably loved him just like I did, and yet she wanted revenge. People started to look down on me. The same people who had greeted me kindly and started to conversation just the day before now avoided me. Women began to fear that I would steal their husband. Yuko smiled bitterly without taking her eyes off, her hands folded in her lap. Reputation means a lot in such a place as Hogwarts, and mine was swallowed. Christian and his wife left as soon as a new doctor was funded, and soon after I found out that I was pregnant. Yuko, you knew what you were going to having an affair with a married man. I'm sorry. You had a hard time. Yes, it wasn't easy. But I don't regret anything. Thanks to all this, I have Bruno. Does Christian know he has a son? No. I would have told him if he hadn't left. Not because I think it would have forced him to stay with me. I don't want that. I just think he has a right to know. A smile appeared on her lips. Tired but sincere. What about the townfolk? Are they still judgmental of you? Some are, but many are not anymore. Everyone respected Dad, and I kept working as a nurse. I've helped many people, so over time, everything calms down more or less. By the way, Derika also left, but quite recently. With our last doctor, she seemed to really like doctors. Speaking of doctors, how do you like John Roberts? Oh, I haven't really got to know him yet. I left Brussels at the same time he arrived in Hamburg. To be honest, he scares me a little. Why? I don't know, there's something about him. His eyes are so black. Yeah. Oh, I haven't even offered you. The girl was interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Giving me a surprising look, she headed for the entrance. Who's there? Yuko, the hospitals need you. Yuko opened the door. What's the matter, Mark? It's Edith's shift today. A soldier was brought to us from Weapon. He's seriously wounded. Edith, well, she threw up when she saw him, and now she refused to help Dr. Roberts. So much for helping a compassionate nurse. I'm coming. She looked at me, eyebrows knitted together, lips pursed. Sorry, Theo, I need to. May I come with you? Where? To the hospital? I nodded. I just want to come to have a look. I won't interfere, honestly. I think now is the best time to... Yuko, we need to hurry. Fine, let's go. But don't set foot in the ward. We left the nurse and quickly walked to the hospital. As soon as we entered the small, somewhat disciplined building, we heard heart-wrenching scream echoing through the corridors. As the metallic odor of blood hit me, I realized that my breakfast was likely to suffer the same fate as Nurse Edith's. I clenched my jaw and let out a deep breath. Try not to get caught by Dr. Roberts. I don't know how he will react. If he nods, finds out that I brought you along. I have to go. He nodded slowly. This side of Yoko's personality, her strength, dedication fascinated and frightened me at the same time. The woman turned around and went further down the corridor, leaving me alone in the hall. What now? The wounded soldier screamed in pain again, making me jump out of my skin. The word seemed to be somewhere near. I'd rather not cause trouble. I sat down on one of the chairs, took out my notebook and a pencil, and started writing about what it was like to sit in a lobby of a small town hospital and listen to the scream of a wounded soldier, filled with a despair and agony, not being able to help to share his pain with me. Just sit on an old wobbly chair and listen, taking it all in. A tear fell on the page. Suddenly heard footsteps coming from the depth of the corridor. Quickly wiped my eyes and got up. What are you doing here? You caused me not to get caught by the doctor. I got lost and decided to come into the hospital. Yes, it doesn't matter. Go away. I have a difficult case, but I come closer, as close as the norms of etiquette allowed him. I unwittingly held my breath, trying to cope with the pressure of his black eyes. Go away, miss. After a short pause, he turned around and left. I watched him go and then left the hospital building. When I turned to Madame Waters' house, I found Lawrence sitting in an armchair holding some sheets of paper. He seemed to be looking through the draft of my articles that I gave him yesterday. The man looked up at me and smiled. Miss Avery, good afternoon. Hello. I sat down and leaned my head back on the sofa, closing my eyes and exhaled wearily. Is everything okay? Yes, it's fine. Don't look fine. If you don't want to come with me, I'll understand. I can reschedule it for another time. Oh no, I want to go. All right, if you say so. In that case, we can head out. I nodded, getting up from the sofa. After driving in comfortable silence for about 15 minutes, we saw a small clearing by a river. I asked Lawrence to stop the car and we got out to admire the nature a little. I turned my face to the warm rays of sun. So beautiful, isn't it? The man nodded, standing next to me. Would you like to sit down? Oh no, I don't want to stain my dress. You won't have to. He took off his jacket and laying it on the ground, sat on the edge, smiled and sat down next to him, listening to the soft chirping of the bird and the rustle of the grass. I allowed myself to relax. Unfortunately, the moment of calm was not destined to last long. Soon my memory was filled once again with the desperate scream of the soldier. Theodora, I didn't respond and didn't look up. What happened? Talk to me. I pressed my temple with my fingertips, trying to cope with my feelings. I guess this is the first time I had to directly faced the reality of war. A wounded soldier was brought to hospital. I don't remember where from, who he is, I have no idea. But his screams, I will never forget them. Lawrence said nothing, but I could tell by the look in his eyes that he knew what I meant. He knew because he had been through it himself, and more than once. And this is just the beginning. I'm scared, Lawrence. I was confident, I was so eager to come here, and I have achieved my goals, but now I can't help but think, what if I'm not ready? What if it's impossible to get ready for this? Do you think I was ready when I got in the thick of the upspring? I fainted at the sight of blood. They had to nurse me back to health for half an hour. And yet there's not a word about that in your article. Well, that's a deliberate omission. A literacy device. Have you ever heard of it? It's very useful when you want to appear brave. That's good to know. I loved looking into the distance at the horizon. Back to the power. That's what I was trying to warn you about. But I think there's something else you need to know. What? He took my hand in his, looked into my eyes, leaning a little closer, believing your persistence, strong in spirit. Your gentle heart may become an obstacle at times, but that's just personal experience. Who knows, maybe your ability to be compassionate at such a deep level will prove to be an asset. And those draft articles that you showed me, hold on. There's room for improvement, of course, but I see huge potential. Don't give up, Theodora. Without lowering his gaze, Lawrence lightly squeezed my hand, as if making a silent promise. I couldn't know what if promised, but in a strange way, his gesture instilled in me a sense of security. I didn't notice how our face got unusually close. I could almost feel his breath in my skin. Leaning forward, I got rid of the distance between us, covering his lips with mine. He exhaled sharply, his arms wrapped round my waist, and I put mine on his shoulder. Lawrence pulled me even closer, as if in an attempt to shield me from the whole world, from its cruelty, injustice, darkness. Don't let me go. I needed him, his hands holding my body, his warmth, his lips, his protection in his moment of weakness. Bird song sounded distantly in my ears. A light wind grazed my skin, and I allowed myself to melt into Lawrence's arm, letting go of all distressing thoughts. Time slowed down. We pulled away from each other. After a while, and I whispered, I am grateful to you. I am grateful to you too. It has been far too long since I have. He was interrupted by a sharp scream coming from somewhere far away. What was that? We got up from the ground and began to look around, scream rang out again. The Germans.